Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Anita and this is where I share my love of knitting and sewing and crafting in general. Today's video is a little bit different. It is a craft room tour. I've been promising to do it for a while since I had my son's bedroom and converted it into my lovely craft room. I do appreciate I'm very lucky to have this space. My children have moved out and we are empty nesters, so we are lucky to have the extra room. And yes, basically that's it. This is my tour. I hope you enjoy it. Please let me know what you think and how you store your things, and if you've got any hints or tips for me, obviously always put them in the comments below. I love to read them and I always reply. I hope you enjoy the video and I'll see you next time. I have two Kallax units pushed together, so I use the top half as shelving and the bottom half as drawers. I'm going to start on the left to show you what I keep in on that side. So I keep my straight needles, and the tin has embroidery threads in it. And over here I have a sewing kit in the top tin and my temperature dishcloths in that old perfume box. Coming down to the shelves, keep my knitting books and crochet in the on the top shelf, and the one below I keep my sewing books and Pippo, my little teddy bear. And on this shelf I have jewelry making and beads and things in that plastic container, an empty tin. The lever arch file has all my circular needles in it. Then I have a couple of books that are inspiring but not knitting or sewing, and this has more embroidery threads in it. On the shelf underneath are all my project bags. I've just sorted that out, they weren't there earlier. And the 4 drawers underneath are all yarn. So that's basically my stash other than the ones I'm working on, and this bag here, which is the wool that I'm using to make the Tunisian crochet blanket for the pod. So in these drawers, this bottom one is all 4-ply and sort of leftovers from making socks and things, and whole skeins, some really nice skeins underneath, but they're all in there, all in bags to keep the moths at bay. And the drawer above is all acrylic. So there's leftovers from projects, but there's also just balls and balls of different colours for crochet blankets and Christmas projects and things. It's quite full. And then the bottom one here is where I've got enough yarn to make a jumper or a shawl, so more than one skein. I've got some black here that I'm making the rosary jumper with, but I've got 3 skeins here that I could make a jumper with. Got enough there to make a jumper, and that's for Jack's Christmas jumper there. And I keep my ball winder in there just because there's enough room to squeeze that in. And the one above is sort of my random drawer. So I have cottons on that side, but the others are all yarns that aren't acrylic, but could be alpaca or wool, leftovers and whole skeins, but there's not really very much. Couldn't make a jumper or anything out of them. So I decided to store it like that rather than just 4-ply DK, RN and things. So that's what I keep in those drawers. And to the right, I've got my little mouse family. There's nothing in their house, it's empty. A cross stitch on the top. And then in the shelves, these are all my knitting projects that I'm working on. And I've got Arthur and Beatrice, my Luna Lapins, they sit there. And behind them, the tin has buttons in, and I've got more embroidery threads and an old needlecraft book. And under their feet, these two boxes have felt and cross-stitch embroidery, Ada fabrics and things like that in it. These are my blocking mats and my blocking board with the little wooden pins that you put in it. And these are the pins that you use to when I use the blocking mats. Postcard. My friend got me that. She saw it and said it reminded her of me. Don't quite know what to make of that. Here are all my kits that I plan to be making this year. And 10-gram minis. I'm still trying to collect those. The yarn left over from when I made my stars for the pod. Now these 4 drawers are supposed to be for my sewing, and well, they are for my sewing. I've got fabric in here. I haven't really organized it yet. I have started. I bought some cards that you fold the fabric around, so I have started doing that, but I haven't got very far. So I've just got piles of fabric in these 2 drawers that I haven't really sorted through properly. And in this one I've got stuffing and interfacing and these plastic pockets for when I want to put my sewing patterns in them, because I can never get them back in the envelope, and my sewing hams. That's in there. And the last one are all my sewing patterns. So they're underneath these here. So I have some proper patterns and also some that I have printed off. And that's what I keep in these pockets because I find them really useful. I love this calendar, although I haven't written anything on it. The sewing box has all my threads in it. And these drawers have bias binding and various tapes. I am meant to be painting them or something, decoupage or just something to brighten them up. Patterns I have worked on this year and finished, I keep under there before I put them away. I've got my family's feet, templates anyway, notebooks, what's it called, washi tape, bias binding makers, never used them, pom-pom makers, some empty tins to put various notions in, elastic and bias stay tape, and that's got a snaps maker in it and the snaps and some French knitting dolls and punch needle, a few random bits and pieces. This cupboard from IKEA is really useful. Well, it's a shelving unit and the table lifts up. Stores loads. So I have my crochet hooks, a money box. My grandma made this and this. This is when she taught me to knit. That's my bee. Very realistic, my first go at felting. And my pins, and there's pins in there as well. My row counters. Picture of Harry, you can't really see, when he was a baby, and his favourite teddy called Jiffy. Do I have anything in there? Oh, a couple of drawing pins. And I keep bobbins in there and my pattern weights. And there's a little racking system there, and I've got patterns in there. Jack drew me an envelope for my birthday card. And down there next to my sewing table is a bin and my rulers. And in this sewing box I keep my English paper piecing and also my overlocker threads. I'll open it now and show you. It's really useful but does take up a lot of space when it's opened up. This is my sewing corner. And I've got an overlocker and my sewing machine is under that cover. I really do want to make nice covers for the overlocker and sewing machine. And my other sewing box, which has basically got all the little knickknacks you need for sewing. And I have some shelves here with various bits and pieces. I'm not going to go through all those little drawers. It's all random bits and pieces you need. You'd be bored to death. And I have some more books and sewing manual and different notebooks and things. And that basket at the back has jersey fabric that's for babies, so the children, so the fun fabrics. And that's my old sewing machine, and the bag on the top has got its foot pedal in, and that's the foot pedal for this present sewing machine. And my overlocker foot is pushed under there, out of the way. To the side of my settee I have this little wicker set of drawers. There's nothing in there. I've also brought out this old tin which had popcorn in it. It's gone a bit rusty and it hasn't gone back up to the attic, so I've just left it there. And the tin on the top is a Kidston one, and I keep my charger and lead for this phone. And underneath is where I keep my microphone and the charger for that. And here is my settee bed for guests and for Harry. The reason I chose it was because it doesn't go right to the floor and you've got this cover, and I can put the bedding under there, but also I've got my cutting mats, and that's a mattress topper under there. So it all stores under there, which is quite useful, because I like to make the most of my space.